Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of My Cool Friends. Today we are here with me and Pikachu, and we have a special topic today. Today we're talking about leadership. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a topic that I love discussing, and I said I haven't talked about this on the podcast yet, and so I get to sit down and talk about this with you guys. Uh, I was I was discussing this basically I found myself in a leadership role outside of the online world, and I was discussing it with one of my friends basically um they found themselves also in a leadership role, and they were frustrated with one of their coworkers because they would ask a lot of questions that they would already know, and they would find themselves in positions that oh hey oh you know how to do this that things where they would keep asking very basic questions that they would know the answer to, and by that they would then keep using up time that they would have to use for other tasks. Oh, I can't keep asking these basic I can't keep answering these basic questions for this person. I have to go do these seven other tasks. And my answer to this has always been the reason why this person is probably asking these questions for the thing that they already know the answer to is because they're in some way, shape, or form there is there's a gap in confidence. And us as leaders, when we have team members, when we have followers that don't have the confidence in themselves, it is up to us in order to instill that confidence in them. And it is I see it as a responsibility. It's a responsibility for us as those who have been put sometimes you find yourself I've found myself in times in life when I've been put in a leadership role, whether it be through charisma or just simply fate. Someone has fate has stuck me in a leadership role, and because of that I see it as a responsibility to instill confidence in others where at times when they might not have it. And when you do that, it creates a better how for lack of a better term, a household environment. It creates a better environment for your group, for your Twitch channel, whatever, however big or small you are, an audience you are creating, it will create that better environment. uh and I was just talking with a group earlier today, and sadly a lot of times the attitude, I guess, is that you want to have people dependent on you. You want to create an area where, oh hey, well, we don't want to have too much confidence, but we want to have people that are almost dependent on us to a point, almost to a fault. And I find that I find that I don't know. I find that almost differing in my message. Not just my message, but my spirit. I want to have people who become become better become better people when they interact with me in life. And so I want to have, whenever I find myself in a leadership role and someone is asking stuff that's oh hey, sometimes it's not a lack of knowledge. Most of the time I think, from my experience, let me know what you guys think, but most of the times it's not a lack of knowledge. We can provide knowledge. We have an infinite amount of knowledge here in our pocket. It's not a lack of knowledge. A lot of times it can simply be a lack of confidence, whether it be a lack of confidence in a certain setting, a certain type of a piece of program. It can be a lack of confidence in a setting or a lack of confidence in themselves. And so I find as leaders, it's our duty to instill that confidence when they themselves don't have it. And teachings we can provide all day and night. And so how do we instill that confidence? Usually it's some form of oh hey, oh you know how, oh not some form of like, oh, you know how to do this, you're smart, like these sort of positive, like there's positive ways to go about doing it. And something I was discussing this past week too is like it's easy to like like when I was discussing it with my friend this past week, like it's easy to let these things get to levels of frustration, but it's hard to like let these things go to the water off the duck's back level and like instill that confidence when they have none. And so that's my that's not, I'm not just saying this as a, oh, this is my message today. This is also like my affirmation that I give to myself, that I give to today and tomorrow, that there will always be new people following us. There's always this is why it's important to publish too, because there's always going to be new people following us. There's always new people finding us that hear our message, and it's like, oh wow, like what's this person's story? What do they have? And don't have their flag planted yet, or don't know where to plant it yet, and finding where exactly it is. And it's like, okay, what's we were talking about today about identity, and a lot of times we have like different identities that are found within our personality. Oh, I'm an introvert. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Like people like identify as either introvert or extrovert, and then they find no gray area in the middle. And then when they identify as an introvert, it's like, oh, I am an introvert, therefore I stay at home, and therefore that is why I do not go and socialize with people. And then they don't, and then this feeds into a lack of confidence in oneself, where because they have adopted an identity either placed on themselves or placed on by others, therefore this spirals into a lack of confidence that they cannot grant themselves. Like they feel like it needs to be granted by an outside force, whether and that outside force can be anything. But then how exactly does one go about doing that? Like it can be like they themselves inevitably will need to give themselves permission in order to step outside of that identity, but but allowing them to like see the door is step one. It's that old Matrix quote, oh, I can only show you the door, you are the one who has to go through it, you're the one who has to step into this identity. And a lot of times people have like it's unfortunate that sometimes people have that identity that is stuck in like, oh no, I am this, therefore I always have a problem with this. I can tell you personally that I was diagnosed, I don't even like that word, but I have a disability in reading and writing, and so I adopted that as an identity. And I thought to myself like, oh, I am just not good at reading and writing. I do not like doing these things. And I can tell you right now, as some of you know, like I'm a best-selling author of a book. And so I have been given this identity, and I have stepped outside of it enough of my comfort zone in order to say like, oh, this isn't something that defines me. What I am good at and what I am not good at does not define who I am, especially who I am for like the rest of my life. This is just something that was given to me, and I can step outside of it. And so like us as leaders, we stepped outside of leadership, but this is all rounds back into leadership. Like us as leaders need to give our followers the permission to step outside of that, and give people the ability to become better people for stepping into our world. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear especially how you guys have like made your audiences. How do you guys improve your audiences like as on the individual level? And with that, my friends, I look forward to hearing your guys' comments. We are over on YouTube and over on Facebook, and now over on iTunes as well. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a safe and fantastic weekend. And remember to stay safe and stay healthy. Bye bye, everybody.